You can't knock a coconut down every time. That is a phrase I use, and it's one that needs to be used for this episode of NAWA, which, you know, frolics viewers of Steve Swift's Rambling Reviews. So many of you from all corners of the world. Oh, the smorgasbord of excellence. Those people who've been watching know, I nearly lost my thread then, that I have come to a real liking for NAWA. It wasn't like that at the beginning, and I think that it's got much better. So even though this episode 393, nearly 400, of the longest running episodic program, wrestling program? No, series, program, series, anyway, in the Carolinas, I'm sure Michael Elliott will tell me what I missed out there. I get a lot of shout-outs this week. It's very nice. Even Guy Tonight. Tonight. Shouts out straight away. That's the first thing. Maybe that's what makes this episode not so good. Too many Steve Swift shouts out. Shout out. Anyway. George South is there. First, I mean, this episode's not bad, you know. It's just not up to its usual standard. Which is quite high these days. So George South will be fighting Justin Kindred-Allen later for the Carolinas Championship. As GT, Guy Tonight, tonight, tells us, George South is my favourite wrestler. George doesn't react to that. I've not been as... I mean, he's not my favourite wrestler. He's not in the top 10 or anything. So, you know, yeah. And George says he's coming on 2 years that he's been the Carolinas champion. It can't be that long. It can't be. It's got to only be about a year, hasn't it? I don't think it's 2 years, is it? Blimey, it's flown by, hasn't it? Anyway, I'm looking forward to that match. Spoiler alert, don't look forward to it too much. Anyway, the recent NAWA champion, Big Donnie, it's now the Silver Fox, by dint of help he got from Golden Gladiator 2, returning from his NASCAR stuff, I think as Michael Elliott says. And he'll be commentating this week, thank goodness, with Curtis Robertson, the throwback, thank goodness. And he's facing Ted. Remember, Ted. He used to be here, as Michael Elliott says. He's got a shtick which is a sort of mentally unstable are the words that Michael Elliott used and say, Steve Swift doesn't like that. No, I've said in the past I don't like that. And let's just say he's an unconventional character. Apparently he got married and is now coming back to NAWA. Yeah. There's a lot of prevarication to begin with from Ted. And I do like the way that Michael and Curtis are enjoying themselves, having a good laugh together. I like that. But there's not a lot of action in this. There is a wrist lock from Big Donnie, which Ted sells very well, actually. Then Golden Gladiator 2 is back with the microphone. We can't quite hear what he's saying, which sort of causes an issue. Certainly it's a distraction that Ted is enjoying. But Donnie hits a really nasty power bomb out of the corner and gets the pin. Now, we don't often see Donnie do moves like that. So actually, I was quite pleased with that. Thought it was all right. Didn't think it was terrible or anything. Well, it wasn't great. But then I'm not a great fan of Big Donnie either, doing most of his offense from the blooming mat and all that. Anyway, we've got Quan Anderson is coming in. Q-U-A-N, isn't it? I think so. And he'll fight Asher Rain next week. That'll be good. He's done a lot in wrestling, but very keen to be with the NAWA, and why wouldn't you be? It is a great promotion. And the programs are great as well. Usually. Okay, here's the main event. And as I said, it will be George South versus Justin Kindred-Allen, and he's got Mason Allen there with him. George South earlier said, these Allens are like gremlins, get a bit of water on them, and they really start multiplying. I like that a lot. It's nicely done. It's for the Carolinas belt. Now, George South wants a pin after a shoulder block. That's ridiculous, but he gets a 2 count from it. Yeah, it does look at one point that George South went down, I think it might have been after a shoulder block again, went down for a pin, but Justin gets up, and George obviously thinks, well, I'm down here for a pin, grabs his hair and pulls him down for that pin. Yeah. He then wants a pin from a hip toss. These things aren't really... Modern wrestling doesn't really do that, you see. And then after a wrist lock for absolutely ages, Justin Kindred-Allen goes to the eyes, and you think something's going to happen. But no, George goes back to the arm. Michael and Curtis both want Justin Kindred-Allen to do something. I want someone to do something, to be honest. Then George South goes back to the wrist. That wasn't what I wanted him to do. No, it was something else I wanted him to do. Anything else. Mason outside grabs George South's foot. And there's a neck breaker, which looks like he didn't get the whole thing from Justin Kindred-Allen. He'll have another go later on and actually get that a lot better. So anyway, there's a headlock, which is worked nicely, actually. Goes for an abdominal stretch, which George South likes to use himself. George hip tosses him out of it. Then he gets that neck breaker, does Justin, which is fair enough. And this is quite nice, actually. It's a move from George South where he steps over with the leg and really cranks back on the arm. So it's quite good, actually. Then he gets some good leverage on it. And then he hits a nice butterfly suplex as well. That's not what I would expect from George South. So you can't say this is all poor, can you? Well, you can, but you wouldn't be right, I don't think. Anyway, Justin Kindred-Allen gets the sleeper. They do the arm drop. He's going. That's it. I can see the belt changing hands. No! He's hulking up. Trademark. Yeah, all of that. And then you've got George South getting a sleeper of his own. But Mason is on the outside choking with impunity several times. Allen gets, or rather, George gets a backdrop and the Wahoo chop, the Wahoo McDaniel chop, and the claw. Mason's on the apron for a distraction. George drops the claw and then won't do anything. He doesn't do anything with Mason at all. He just stands there looking at him, really. He then I think it's because the idea was, I'll get out of the way as Justin runs and he'll hit Mason, then I can put the claw on and get the pin. But it takes a while. So he's just standing there, sort of just looking around. That's not great. To be honest, it isn't. And it's not a great episode. But then NAWA is bound to have some episodes like this. Don't stop watching, because it's still really rather good. Even with these caveats. And I love a load of caveats. Holy Christ, it's not that good. But with the caveats, it's a lot better. Ta-ta.